2025 promises to be an absolutely gangbuster year for games. I have pulled together 35 of the most exciting games that are set to be released in 2025. This list only includes games with a stated release window of 2025. Many of these games could slip into 2026, and other games with no current release window could show up. Now, in no particular order, number 1, GTA 6. It would be foolish not to open the list with the most anticipated game of the year. Very little has been shown of the game, but with Rockstar's track record, it's a safe bet that GTA 6 will end up being best in class. If you aren't a GTA kind of person, you should still pay attention for the innovations and ambitions in the game that will inspire other game developers for 10 years. Number 2, Doom: The Dark Ages. Doing a prequel to the Doom reboots has freed id Software to build an entirely new toolset. Every Doom game has been more metal than the last, and our few glimpses of gameplay promise new toys and more epic demon slaying. Number 3, Civilization 7. This venerable series reinvents itself with each entry. Their design philosophy is to keep 1/3 of the last game, reinvent 1/3 of the last game, and fill the last third of the new game with new mechanics. This keeps each entry in the series unique and helps drive the 4X genre forward. Number 4, Avowed. Obsidian's first-person fantasy RPG set in the Pillars of Eternity universe is not trying to be Skyrim. Obsidian has been very clear on the point. What it is, however, is a more focused RPG with lots of detail and Obsidian's choice-laden writing. Previews have been positive, so this is definitely one to watch. Number 5, Death Stranding 2. The follow-up to Kojima's first post-Konami outing is somehow as mysterious as the first. While we are familiar with the world of Death Stranding, Sam Porter Bridges has been given a new mission, so we have no idea what the gameplay is going to be like. As the trailer says, the first time was the rope to bind people together, but now we're going with the stick. What does that mean? No idea. Number 6, Sniper Elite Resistance. For the first time, Sniper Elite isn't about Carl Fishburne. Otherwise, this promises to be more of the same great taste. Stealth, sniping, Nazi killing, and X-ray kill cams. Number 7, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It was bold when Studio Warhorse decided to make a historical open-world RPG with a focus on historical accuracy in the Bohemian countryside. After that game's surprise success, the studio decided to double down and go bigger, and have the next game go to medieval Prague. We can expect much of the same gameplay and flavor, but expanded and with a full city to enjoy. Number 8, Like a Dragon: Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. The newest mad spin-off of the Like a Dragon series features an amnesiac Majima taking the lead of a pirate crew in the search of epic treasure. While the last two main series games were turn-based RPGs, this is classic Yakuza series action. I adore this series, and therefore am interested in anything they do. Number 9, 2 Point Museum. The newest entry to the 2 Point series of comedic management games, this game turns its attention to museums. Send out expeditions for artifacts, set up exhibits, manage guests, and fend off thieves. Number 10, Split Fiction. The latest co-op adventure from Joseph Ferris and his team at Hazelight Studios, this is a mandatory co-op adventure with a focus on teamwork. Bouncing between fantasy and science fiction worlds, you will need to use complementary powers to solve puzzles and make progress. Given the success of It Takes Two, this is one to pay attention to. Number 11, Atomfall. A second game from the makers of Sniper Elite this year, this post-apocalyptic RPG seems to be a British answer to Fallout, perhaps without as much humor. The blend of retrofuturism, post-apocalypse, and folk horror should give this one a unique flavor. Number 12, Wanderstop. This new game from the makers of the Stanley Parable features a former adventurer getting through her traumas and healing by working at a tea house. Given who is making this game, I expect some surprises, some interesting commentary, and probably a few laughs. Number 13, Ghosts of Yotei. The follow-up for Ghosts of Tsushima was announced with a teaser, and we don't know much more. We know that we are moving forwards in time a few centuries, and we know that we are in the far north of Japan. The rest is still a mystery. Given the excellent track record of Sony first-party single-player titles and the success of the first Ghosts of game, this is one to watch. Number 14, Orcs Must Die: Deathtrap. The Orcs Must Die series nails the fusion of tower defense, action combat, and slapstick comedy. Deathtrap adds 4-player co-op, more progression systems, and even more ridiculous orc deaths. Number 15, Rift of the Necrodancer. This sequel ditches the roguelite dungeon crawling for Guitar Hero rhythm action battling. It also adds a feature just for me: difficulty modes. I never beat the eponymous Necrodancer from the first game, but maybe I have a shot this time. Number 16, The Altars. This sci-fi game, offering a blend of management and adventure, comes from the makers of Frostpunk and This War of Mine. You have to build your rolling base on a strange planet, and your entire crew are alternate universe versions of you. I expect hard decisions, both interpersonal and strategic. Number 17, Borderlands 4. Randy Pitchford's one-man hype machine aside, this looks to be more Borderlands as you would expect it. Shinier, bigger, and even more guns. They promise to pull a little bit back on the extreme juvenile humor. Hopefully, we get more wordplay like Goner Me Leggies. Number 18, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. This is a JRPG-style game from a new French studio set in a wildly imaginative fantasy world. The expedition must stop the end of the world in a late 19th century Paris-inspired setting by confronting and stopping the mystical painter. The art on this one is gorgeous. They have some interesting ideas about updating JRPG mechanics, and the world that they're setting up is just really fascinating. Number 19, Crimson Desert. This is the first single-player outing from the makers of MMO Black Desert. This open-world game looks massive and absolutely packed to the gills with mechanics. If it has half as much substance as style, it should be a real treat. Number 20, Dispatch. In this new game from some Telltale veterans, you play as a former superhero who is now working at a superhero dispatch center. Starring Aaron Paul of Breaking Bad fame, this could be the narrative adventure game of the year. Number 21, Dying Light: The Beast. Kyle Crane is back as lead in this third game of the series. After the end of the following standalone expansion, Kyle has been left with a mix of human and zombie DNA, which I guess that's how that works, meaning that you will get both human survival gameplay and a chance to play with zombie powers. Number 22, Dune Awakening. I'm not currently an MMO guy, but Dune Awakening has interesting ideas that I want to see come to fruition. Its combination of survival gameplay, an impermanent frontier, and MMO scale has the potential to create something really unique. Number 23, Elden Ring Nightreign. Anything FromSoft does at this point is going to automatically be a most anticipated, but this is something out of the norm. They've taken Souls-like combat, turned it into a co-op roguelite, and probably kept in plenty of poison swamps. Number 24, Eternal Strands. This is a systems-driven game from Mark Laidlaw, the original lead on the Dragon Age series. The idea here is to combine immersive simulation with action-adventure, and it's going to live or die on how good it feels in the hand. I'm rooting for this one. Number 25, Mafia the Old Country. The Mafia series winds the clock back and goes back to Sicily for another serious crime drama. This series has had escalating production values and refinement, so I'm excited to see how this one raises the bar. Number 26, Menace. I was excited to hear about a new turn-based tactics game from the makers of Battle Brothers. This time you're running a mercenary company in space. The escalation in scale and inclusion of tanks and mechs stand to make this game even more complex. Number 27, The Outer Worlds 2. A second Obsidian RPG this year, and a second game in this satirical sci-fi series. We don't know too much about this one, but Obsidian has a way with sequels, so it's definitely one to keep your eyes on. Number 28, Pathologic 3. The Pathologic series at times seems like it doesn't want to be played. These extremely obtuse, clunky, and bizarre RPGs are unlike anything else on the market. This game's ambitions are just as grand as its predecessors, so I can't wait to see how it turns out. Number 29, Shadow Labyrinth. Announced at the Game Awards, but stealth announced in the Amazon show Secret Level, this horror-filled Pac-Man spin-off caught everyone by surprise. A Pac-Man Metroidvania shouldn't be this interesting, but the vibes got me. Number 30, South of Midnight. This action-adventure set in the magical deep south of the United States simply oozes with style. We've only seen a tiny bit of combat and exploration so far, but I'm a sucker for unique fantasy worlds. Number 31, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. This game has had a legendarily troubled development sequence, with multiple restarts and even a studio change, but it looks like it's actually going to come out this year. The game seems to have moved from an open character design RPG to a set character in more of a Dishonored stealth action environment, but we shouldn't have to wait too much longer to see how it all turned out. Number 32, Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This Souls-like game set in Ming Dynasty China looks like it has both weighty combat and serious vibes. I'm excited to see what twists on the Souls formula they experiment with. Number 33, Where Winds Meet. This action-adventure RPG has vast ambitions of enormous open environments, professions, and a reactive game world. We have seen very little of it so far, but the developers claim it will be out this year, so we'll be able to judge for ourselves. Number 34, Fable. This series is getting a full reboot, but it's still shot through with British humor, maybe more than ever. They haven't talked too much about the meat of the game, but we know that they are intending to keep a focus on player choice once again. The world of player choice has advanced a lot in recent years, so it'll be interesting to see if they offer something that still stands out. Number 35, FBC Firebreak. Last but certainly not least, we have Remedy's first try at a co-op multiplayer game. Set in the Control universe of the Remedy Connected Multiverse, you will take on the roles of explorers of strange worlds on the other side of the thresholds. I am always excited for more Remedy writing, no matter what form the game takes. And that's the list. What games did I miss? What games on the list are you excited for? Leave me a comment so I can find out about more games of 2025, and subscribe so we can experience 2025 in gaming together. That's it for now. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.